Butterbean. So how's it going, everybody? Today I'm here with my friend Brandon, and he's going to teach you a little bit about his big turbo 2.0 Genesis. And Brandon, why don't you start off with, how did you get into cars?
Originally, I was hanging out with my buddy Ledwar. My mom and his mom used to go to church. They told me to come by one day. I was chilling there, and I seen Ledwar was building his Prodigy. Thing was scary looking at the time. And then they took me to my first meet, and that's when I actually started like, I want to get into cars. I like this. And then my first car originally was a 97 Honda Civic.
You throw an eBay turbo on it?
Yeah. Yeah. Safe to say that thing blew within a week of me actually turboing it, just because I wasn't familiar with turbos and stuff. I still was guided, but I kind of did everything on my own. I learned everything. Blew it the first week of owning it. Went searching for swaps. I got a little D16 swap as well. Turbo that thing, and then I ended up giving the car away, basically.
Oh yeah?
That poor car.
So where'd you end up getting the D16? Did you get off like Facebook Marketplace, or did you get off eBay?
I actually found this dude. He had sold a couple parts to me before, and then I hit him up. He had an engine for sale, and it turned out to be the same dude that had sold me parts before. So I really trusted him. So I went to go get it. The engine running perfect, and throughout there, it served me good for like almost a year, and then I basically sold the car.
Cool. So now there's a lot of things people say about Genesis. A lot of, not really the most positive things. So why did you get yours, and specifically the 2-liter turbo instead of the 3.8 V6?
So originally, my buddy Ledwar, he had a 3.8 Genesis. Well, his brothers basically gave it up to Ledwar. Really good cars. I fell in love with it, the aesthetic and everything of it. Looked, body shape, they looked pristine. I was like, let me go search around. I was originally looking for other cars in that time. I was looking at a Mustang 5.0 actually.
Seems like everybody wants a 5.0, huh?
Dude. I actually went to go look at a 2011 Camaro SS.
Yeah.
I was like this close to signing the paperwork, but I'm like, should I really get into that right now? I basically still learning about cars. And I watched a couple videos of the 2.0 Genesis. I liked it. It was gonna be way different than the actual 3.8s. It's a different platform, different engine. So I was looking on OfferUp actually, and I found these people, Grant Motors and Fowler.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to go check it out. I loved the car. I test drove it and everything. It ran super, super good. I'm like, we're getting this one. Next day I went and signed the papers and got the car.
Oh, sick. So now it's obviously not stock, just a little bit of modifications. But what have you all done to the car since you've owned it? And how long have you actually owned the car?
I've hit my 3 years with this car. I think coming to August is when I'm gonna hit the 4 years with it actually. So a couple things I've done since I got it. When I first got it, I definitely cut off the muffler. That thing came straight off. It made a difference. It sounded really good.
Yeah.
My buddy Esteban helped me, and Ledwar helped me put on a single exit. That was pretty much the first mod. I would say it's a mod, but at the same time, not a mod.
I mean, it's everybody's first mod.
Yeah.
At least getting a catback on the car, either that or an air intake. But.
And at my end, it was a custom one. So.
Yeah, that's how you gotta go.
So that was it. Then I got a RFL blow-off valve made from Type RS, I think. Some brand like that. I got that. Sounded really, really, really good. So I fell in love with that. Then I started watching videos, and I'm like, oh wow, they invent big turbo kits for this car.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I want to do that. So after installing a watt box, that thing was not, it was fun, but until a certain point where it blew my damn turbo feed line off. That
I
was
remember that night.
Yeah. The damn car had misery. So in that instance, I literally could have fixed the car with just buying the turbo feed line. And I kind of went crazy and went the big route and going big turbo. So the next day I had the manifold, everything coming in for that car. So when I finally mounted it up and stuff, I look at it, I'm like, wow, this thing looks crazy. So I originally, let's say, how long did it take to do? I think in less than a month I had the big turbo kit already on. It took a lot of stuff because I had a lot of janky made up stuff in that damn intercooler.
Yeah.
Piping always falling off because of the welds. The manifold I got was a cast manifold, which I got on right now, but it's a different brand. It's been doing me good right now.
Yeah.
And that manifold ended up cracking. I had a slit in it, and then I had wastegate issues where the bolts kept coming off because of the wastegate holes on the manifold were, I guess, really bad with that manifold.
I mean, you were literally turning that manifold like glowing red.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
those threads were gone.
I think I got that manifold off of Amazon actually. It was off of Amazon. I remember it was like for $130, dude. I would never forget that.
I mean, hey, you learned. You learned.
I lived and learned for sure. That put it in basically. I learned a lot from building this car for sure.
Yeah.
This manifold I got. This one was a X. I don't even know how to pronounce the brand. I saw a lot of reviews on YouTube. Everybody loved the manifold. I got it. It was $370 something
Yeah.
off a Coupe store, and I installed it. The car performed so much better. The turbo lag went away.
Yeah.
Better response for sure. Then boom, the motor blew. The motor blew. I was bummed out for sure. And I'm like, I should just buy a built motor already, or I could go the route of making mine.
Yeah.
So I acquired an engine hoist. I pulled the motor out to see the damages. Safe to say there was no bearings in there for sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the first time I drained the oil when I first blew it, it was crazy. I'm like, oh, I don't even know what I'm looking at this point.
It was more metal soup than any oil.
Yeah. I've gone through 3 builds of this damn engine in a span of less than a year.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I built it, I got Wesco pistons, K1 technology rods, and I'm guessing I threw bearings in,
Yeah.
and they weren't. The crank, at that time I didn't know because I didn't have that much knowledge of it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the crank was unpolished and stuff, so I basically just bearing slapped it for sure. And I built the motor back up. I started it. It ran good for like the first couple of days, and as soon as that next day hit, all I hear is a raw knock. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
I took down the pan, and safe to say that damn bearing was gone again. So I'm like, what keeps happening? So I built it like 2-3 times, basically bearings, which is my mistake. I should have just pulled out the crank and saw that it was bad. And then on the 4th one, I basically got new crank, new bearings, same pistons and rods for sure. ARP head studs I got from Import Racing, and I built that in like 3-4 months. It took me just because I took my time instead of rushing it every time. Took my time. I built this thing 4 months, got it running perfect. I was really proud of myself. I'm like, damn, I come this far.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know I was gonna come up to this point of building this car with big turbo and everything and have it set the way it is right now.
So everything you have on it right now has been the same way. You haven't touched it since you rebuilt
Not
the
yet.
engine.
Since
Okay.
everything, I've got big turbo. Well, turbo I had to replace like 2 or 3 times just because I didn't want to run a blow valve at the time. And
Yeah.
it was an eBay turbo, which this one is right now, and it's been holding up forever.
Yeah, it's doing fine.
Yeah, it's been doing amazing.
So when you blew the engine the first time, why did you go the route of I want to rebuild it myself and not like I can just have a shop do it, have them do it because they're specialists and they have it in like my car within a month probably. But you're like, I want to go through the hassle of even throwing bearings, trying to learn how to do it, and then in the end, it's been running.
So at the time, I chose the route of building it myself because I was looking at other shops, and shops were pretty pricey. The engines already built were going for like 6K, 7K, and I would say these motors are hard to find, but it also depends where you also find them in.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of engine shops that have them, junkyards and stuff, but in that instance, I was like, I might as well just give it a go and try to build myself. I'm also gonna learn a lot from this motor. I could probably take this motor up in like an hour if I wanted to.
Hey, trial and error, that's what you get.
Exactly.
So, what are the problems you've had with the car that maybe, have you had any problems with the car that you haven't caused by modifying it or just like throwing things on? Maybe it was just maintenance issues that arose or something like that.
Probably just maintenance issues at that time.
Yeah.
This car has been pretty well. As long as you do maintenance to them, they'll last you forever.
Yeah.
They're really good cars to have. I literally, well, the AC compressor actually went out on its own, but that's because the belt has snapped one day. But that's after I did all the modifications and stuff,
Yeah.
so it was my kind of issue.
Yeah, I get you. So, the question is, would you recommend a Genesis to somebody else? Not saying not 3.8, but the 2.0, would you recommend it to somebody else?
2.0 I would recommend. It's a cool daily driver. You can get anywhere from here and there. It's a fun car for sure.
Yeah.
They're good on mileage for sure. I think when I first got it, it was getting 29 miles per gallon. I don't want to say what it got.
You got half that now, yeah.
I think I get like barely minimum. And that's also because I got a hood dump, so that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that's true.
And also tuning wise and all that stuff. But I would recommend this car if you really like 2.0s and turbos. Then this is a fun car. You'll learn a lot from it for sure.
Now, why would you get this over, let's say, something like, other than price, of course, why would you get this over maybe like a 2.0 Honda Accord or a Civic Type R or, even a Subaru STI, or a WRX STI? Why would you get this car over those, disregarding the price?
Disregarding the price, I feel like modification-wise, there's a bigger platform on what you can do to them.
Mm-hmm.
Subaru and stuff, they got a lot of platforms, but I kind of fell in love with this car. The stuff you could do to them, it looks so nice. Even white body kits you throw on, they look amazing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, I think that's about it for right now. That thing sounds crazy. Thank you everybody watching and tuning into this video. Thank you Brandon for coming out and showing us your big turbo Genesis. I really appreciate it. I actually really enjoy this build because you can see Genesis here and there, but they're either completely stock or they're just slammed to the ground. There is no in between. So I really appreciate you showing something that could actually put some power to the ground. And once you get it tuned, once you get the clutch, not slipping on.
We'll get a video for
gear,
sure.
Yeah, I would love to get another video with you. I just want to take Brandon here and me for an example of, if you don't know, you don't have to get into the car scene knowing everything. I barely knew anything. Brandon barely knew anything when he got to the car scene. It's a matter of fact of, go ahead and do it. Stop being scared. Go ahead and mod your car. And every person I interview on this channel about their car and whether you should or not buy it, I'm gonna say, do it. Go ahead and do it. Either buy that car, mod that car, learn how to do it. Don't be scared, because if Brandon and I can do it, then you guys can too. I appreciate everybody for tuning in today once again, and I'll see you all in the next one, which might be a little bit smaller of a car than this one.